Alright, so we're asked to approximate the area under the curve using trapezoid. That's probably a bit of a hint. That's 0.5 in units width. That gives us everything we need to know. The first thing we need to do whenever we're doing an area approximation is what? Table of values. How do we get the y values? So firstly, how do we get the x values? I've got my start value and my finish value. Now it might say using 5 trapezoids, it might say, or 4 trapezoids, it might say a whole bunch of different things. In this case it's got an area of 0.5. If it was 4 trapezoids, we'd need 5 points. So it could be asking us to do it with 4 trapezoids, or it could give us our width. Either way, that tells us how many x values we need, so we know that every half unit we need to add a new x value. So 0, half, 1, 1 and a half, 2, I need 5 columns, or 6 columns if you include the y and the x, but I need 5 value columns in my table. How do I find my y values? Sum my x values into the equation. So my first one's going to be? 8, because 0 squared plus 8 is that. My second one's going to be? 7 3/4. This is a tech-free question. So for those of us who aren't aware how I do that, I'll be negative 1 on 2 squared plus 8, which is negative 1 on 4 plus 8, which becomes 7 3/4. Cool? I'm going to apply that to the others as well. This is 7. The negative applies after the square. The next one is negative 3 on 2 squared plus 8, which turns us into negative 9 on 4 plus 8. We can represent 8 as 32 over 4. Yes, we can, or can we not?
Yeah.
Yes, we can, which means this is 23 on 4, which is 5 3/4.
Maybe it's 5 3/4.
Because 24 is 6,
Yeah.
20 is 4. And the last one is simply going to be 4. 2 squared is 4. Happy with that? Mm-hmm. So I've got my first bit of information. If I wanted to sketch it, I could. Do I need to sketch it? But I need to use my trapezoidal rule. Is my trapezoidal rule on my formula sheet? No, so I have to remember it. And of course I do. Area equals width on 2 times endpoints plus 2 midpoints. Cool. And then I add my values. What's my width? 0.5 or a half. I'd represent it as a half personally, but I know you guys are fraction fearers. My endpoints are what? 8 and 4. What do I do with them? Add them together, so it's 8 plus 4 plus 2 outside of my midpoints, which are 7 3/4 plus 3. Good. If I wanted to leave it as a fraction, to be honest, I probably wouldn't use an incomplete fraction here, but whatever, I'll do it that way. The fraction theories are in the house. 1 on 4, 12 plus 2 times, this is why we should have done fractions, 14 3/4, 19 3/4 plus 3/4, 20 and a half.
Yeah.
Sweet. 1 on 4 outside of 2OL plus 41. 1 on 4 outside of 53. 53 on 4, which is equal to 13 1/4 units squared. I want you to keep that number in mind because you'll be seeing something later. So highlight it, do whatever you want to do. We need this answer. And that is our area. Anyone get that? All by himself? Well done, boys. Very impressed. So first step was what? Remind me, I've got a really bad memory and I just did the problem, but my memory is shocking. Table of values, second. Shove the rule in, third value. Sub the values in and solve. What do I do with those values? So when I put E and I've got two endpoints, what's the operation between the endpoints? Plus. And then I leave my value in units squared once I'm evaluated. Happy with that? Could be tech free, could be tech active. Either way. How do I find my Y values again? Substitute in my X values into my equation. How do I know how many X values to include? Look at the width of the columns.